Back when I was still having sex with men who wore Adidas slides and dirty white socks, you know the ones. I wish I could tell me then that I'd be married to like a whole ass pediatrician sitting outside in our backyard by the fire he built me drinking an old fashioned, waiting for him to come downstairs to join me because he's putting our kids to bed. Marry the nerd!
Hey, yo, black man, what's happening, man? E aí, preto, hermano. Now, you saw the women talk about the fact of, getting cracked by dudes with dirty socks and Adidas slides back in her day. And she didn't mention how old she is, but she mentioned she was married and she has children. And she's talking about marrying a nerd. Now, now being a nerd, again, I resonate with being a nerd. I am a nerd. I love to read. As bad as I am at math, some might say I'm actually pretty good, but I hate math, but I'm actually pretty good at it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm all right. I'm decent. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's also being viewed as being a nerd. And as a black man, you have to be bad at math. If you're automatically decent, not even good, you're just decent at math, automatically a nerd. And you know what's so crazy, right? The reward of being a good man, a good black man, you're guaranteed to get a hoe. Guaranteed to get a hoe. See, this is the side of the male experience on mainstream media that people refuse to talk about collectively, right? As men, but specifically as black men, we are rarely chosen. And when I talk about black men, I'm talking about, again, educated black men, productive black men. There's a recent study that what I think 25% of college graduate black men are interracially married. 30%. Anybody who's been to a PWI, because again, it's not going to make sense at an HBCU, right? Duh. At a PWI, 30% of black men, where again, black men are not the majority population, 10 times out of 10, they 10 times out of 10, they are the minority. So if 30% of a minority group is interracially married, do you realize how big of a number that is? Right? Because see, as a black man, like I said, when you're in process meaning you're in college, right? You're going after your education, or again, maybe you skipped over college, you went to the workforce. Maybe you're in the process of driving trucks right now. You might be in your first year, second year, right? You went to a trade school, got a trade in your first year, second year. Maybe you're still in school. But the thing is, you're in the process. Like I said, during that time, you are rarely chosen. See, what black women are waiting for is that finished product. And again, when you become the finished product, look at what you have to choose from. So you busted your ass. You spent all those nights staying up trying to study. You spent all those hours working, building up yourself. Again, hitting your macros, trying to get consistent 8 hours of sleep. Again, studying hard, long nights, staying up. Come on, dude. You did so much. You sacrificed so much. And the best that you can get is washed up work. See, the fact that women used to hide information like this, you actually had to search for it. I remember, listen, when females were getting exposed in high school, right? There was exposed pages, and the girls who got exposed were damn near ready to off themselves. I'm talking about making all types of crazy notes on Instagram, coming to school on that emo time, and cutting themselves up, making these DEATH notes and everything. I'm like, come on, son. These shorties talking about how they want to KIL themselves. I'm like, man, listen, it's crazy, but like I said, now, now, right? They're willing to record and press the upload button for 20,000 views, 10,000 likes, and a few hundred comments. Embarrassing the simp, getting cracked by the lowest common denominator, and I bet the simp has no prenup. You was out here getting cracked by these dudes, and it's crazy. But see, she is very emblematic of the male heterosexual experience. When I was in university, right, I went to a PWI, but I wasn't too far from a HBCU, and I always hung out at the HBCU. And what I caught on to very quickly was that the black women on campus were all dating, or the majority of them were dating guys who were off campus. Again, not actual students, just guys off campus. So who she's dating, right? And I'm talking about, listen, they're dating dope boys, they're dating scammers, club promoters, right? Bums. Bums. I'm like, yo, how do you meet? Yo, I remember this one Keisha had a bum living in her dorm. I'm like, how? How did you even meet him? Oh, and it's crazy because the most attractive ones, the most attractive ones are definitely dealing with the, street dude, club promoter, bum, and you as the dude who's in process, the quality that see a lot of dudes might say, "Oh man, you just mad your content. You talk about, oh, you couldn't get no buns." I'm like, I never said I couldn't get no action, dude. I'm saying the quality was so low. Quantity was never a problem, but the quality was so low. The quality been low. Again, we saw this in university, dude. If you like to read, that was a negative against you. God forbid God forbid you were trying to study and actually pass your classes, dude. Even the dudes who were on campus, because one thing about university, it does weed people out. By the second year, I'm talking like the end of the second school semester. I'm sorry, the end of the second school year. Most people who don't belong in university drop out by that point. And really, the first year kind of takes people out the game. But yeah, second year, you get rid of the dudes. So first and second year, that's the most traumatic year for some guys. Like I said, here's the thing: in university, yes, even the nerds, you're getting action. It's just low quality action. Guys don't leave college virgins. Most guys don't even enter university as a virgin. But the reality is, the quality is so low. You know what I mean? And it's funny because while she's recording this video, look at who she's thinking about. You have a husband, you have kids, you have this house that you live in with a fire pit in the back. You know that costs some money. And she said the husband, right, the aka the nerd, is a pediatrician. Granted, when I first thought about going to college, right, in high school, I wanted to be a sports MD. Granted, I did not pursue that because once I found out, and I actually took healthcare courses. Once I found out, listen, it really does take somewhere between like 11 and 12 years in school to become a any kind of not any kind of doctor, but like yeah, a pediatrician, a sports MD, anesthesiologist, neuroscientist, or a neurobiologist. Yeah, you're gonna be in school for a long time, bro. So again, after spending all that time in school, like I said, you put yourself through all that debt, all that studying, all those tests, and the best you can get is a washed up 304. That's why I've been told dudes, I mean, bro, you might as well just you might as well stay single, bro. If you had to build by yourself, I don't see why guys are still trying to get married after spending all that time by yourself. Dude, no one was there with you putting those jump shots in. When you was running all those drills, when you were doing all those suicides, all those push-ups, like I said, all those late nights, you might as well just rock out by yourself. I get it. A lot of dudes, man, I want a family to simp. You know what I mean? Listen, and this is why I make the content because I might call this video the nerd 65% simp, time to wake up. Something along those lines, right? It's time for those guys to wake up because these are the same guys who are gonna wipe these Keishas. Now you might say, listen, oh, she wasn't bad looking, blah, blah, blah. I mean, okay, she didn't mention if she was in university or not, but think about it, dude. A lot of guys won't even get that kind of shorty because yeah, she might be rocking her natural hair and no makeup, you know what I mean, glasses and everything. But how many black dudes are actually getting that? Like you guys are not getting that, dude. A lot of you guys are getting the black joint who say street instead of street, scrimp instead of shrimp, strawberry, straight, specific. I'm like, they don't even say specific. They say I don't even know how to pronounce that the hood way, dude. I mean, a lot of you dudes, you mess with these girls who are illiterate. Yo, for real, ask Keisha to read Just one chapter out of a Harry Potter book, nigga. Like for real. Listen, not even a chapter. Just read 2 full pages. You guys remember back in school? Listen, when they used to popcorn read and niggas would get stumbled up on words. And mind you, it's one thing to get tongue tied because I get tongue tied. It's one thing to stutter a little bit because I do it myself. But granted, I can read a full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga. You feel me? You ask Keisha or hold on, some because I kid you not, at least me. The black Jones I've always been interested in always had some kind of intelligence. But when you look at the guys they deal with, and again, that's the sad part. Hood Keisha and educated Keisha are going for the same type of dudes. Because, like I said, the educated ones don't look at the educated men as masculine. They look at you because you're actually pursuing an education. Because, look, they're being taught to compete against you in the workforce. Duh. A lot of you dudes who go to school for like marketing, business, that's the areas, the majors that they dominate. So you're definitely competing against them. If you go to school for like STEM, not too many black Jones are in STEM. Not too many. Even at an HBCU, not too many black Jones in STEM. You will have a few, but again, like I said, they're being taught, whether it's a PWI or an HBCU, they're being taught to compete against you. So again, she's competing against you for the same jobs, and then when she gets those jobs, right? She's making more money than you. She's probably your supervisor. She's probably your manager, or maybe even a coworker, but they're giving her more praise than you. But again, she's getting hired off of the fact that the HR person is a female. You feel me? You actually had to have qualifications, and again, they know which black men to hire for these jobs and which ones not to hire. I'm telling you, it's such a psyop. And again, these same Keishas, dude. You know, I watched the original video, right? And she was talking about how she was dealing with the guy who had the Adidas slides and the dirty socks because the sex was really good. See, they talk about sex. They hyperfixate on your stroke game. Like I said, going all the way back to high school, yo, that's all young black men care about. Because listen, I'll never forget. I never forget, yo. I was on a basketball court with a pookie one time, and yo, the dude said, yo, Shorty was acting stiff, right? She wasn't texting me back. She wasn't calling until I hit her with that Johnson. Now she calling me every day. Now she texting me every day. She won't leave me alone. Yo, I kid you not. This is my word. Pookie had her on perks. This was a good, yo, this was a good girl. Pookie had her on perks in school. Yo, Pookie had her on perk 10s in school. High school, son. This is my word. I'm like, damn, yo, but see, from early black men, I've been hearing this. Dude's been talking about, yeah, man, you hit it with that stroke. Yeah, man, you do it like this, man. Yeah, she gonna be all over you, man. You know what I mean? Yo, dude's been talking about this from young. From young. And for Keisha to think that her saying what she's saying is giving you a compliment, yo, that's an insult. That's an insult, black men. Like I said, for the brothers who are really nerds, I made that one video about Brother Ice on the Pop the Balloon show. Like I said, you had the Keisha on there talking about the fact, oh, based off how you dress, you look studious. You look like you read books when I'm ready to turn up. Yo, you stupid ass bitch. What the fuck? So based off how I'm dressed, that means I like to read books. And that's exactly what I said to her. So based off how I'm dressed, I like to read books, or the vibe is giving studious. See, like I said, black men, what they want for themselves, they don't want from you. And when they do have to accept a guy who has, again, more than her as far as on the intellect, because guess what? When you look at who Keisha really deal with, even the educated ones, strong of body, weak of mind. Sometimes it's weak of mind and weak of body. You feel me? Sometimes it's weak of mind and weak of body. And you think to yourself, yo, how can you, mind you, maybe black women might go to that extreme, but like sit down and think about it. Anybody who went to university, bro, you telling me every nerd is the worst looking dude possible. It's not about your looks, black man. For a good portion of time, I used to think it was about looks, and I'm not gonna say looks don't play a part. Looks are definitely important, and again, they go a long way. But have you noticed that when the guys are criminal minded, it's a pass on how they look. These dudes can be missing teeth. These dudes can be short, fat, stink, don't change their drawers. Yo, I remember back in high school, yo, females was posting online, like on Twitter, or like the memes would go viral, talking about how dudes don't change their drawers, shit stains in their drawers, dudes be nasty. Like, come on, son. Like, and you think to yourself, at least me, I got OCD, son. I've been clean my whole life. Can't no shorty ever talk about, yo, Scar, you dirty. Scar, you got a dirty wheel. Scar, your bedroom dirty. Your spot dirty. Like, come on, son. That ain't never been me. And I know many black men who are the same way. But again, Keisha goes out her way to find such an imbalance because when you really think about it, bro, those black men who are in process, like I said, when you become that finished product, yo, think about it, bro. The average Keisha, whether she's educated or in the words of them, from the streets, yo, in their own words, they know they're beneath you. Like the kind of guys they were going after are not you. Shout out to AC. He always says that black women don't know you. And that's true. When you think about it, yo, for all you dudes who are really nerds, I'm not saying you never had no experience with Keisha, but think about the Keisha that you did date. I bet the nerd brothers never really dated hood Keishas like that before. I can listen, myself, the few hood shorties I entertained, I did not smash. And even that talking period did not last long because I'm like, yo, this bitch is a bird. At least the educated ones, you can have thought provoking intellectual conversation because, yeah, the hood chick, she's ten times out of 10, she got a nice body, dude. 10 times out of 10, she got a nice body. But I mean, the bitch is slow. Yeah, she may got a big booty, but all that ass is a trade off for a brain. Have you guys realized that? I'm not saying you don't have no thick shorties in university, but like that real ghetto booty. I'm talking about that real onion booty. I'm talking about that real rounded and brown. I'm talking about that real ebony category on Pornhub, that Cherokee Diaz build. I'm like, you're not finding that in college for real. And let's keep it a stack. Those same shorties don't even graduate that do go. Not as a collective. Like when you really think back on their freshman year, sophomore year, those like super big booty joints, man, they get pregnant, dude. They get taken off the market real quick. I'm talking about single mom sophomore year, she drop out. Like keep it a stack. That's how it go. And I'm gonna wrap it up, right? Like I said, black men who are really nerds. This is why I talk about overseas, man, because after all that sacrificing, again, you're still relegated to the bottom because the quality is low. You feel me? Imagine you spend 11 years in school from 18. Granted, now you're 29 years old. By the time you even hit like a point in your career where you're kind of like comfortable, again, apartment, vehicle, good credit, good savings, good investment portfolio, good stock portfolio. Like by the time you get there, man, you're probably at least 3 to 4 years into your career, maybe earlier if you have the kind of information to do all that kind of stuff quicker, but at least 3 to 4 years in. So by that time, you're like what, 32, 33, 34, at least mid 30s, right? When you look around, all the black Jones that you have to pick from, again, the ones who you were in university with, children, single mom, the ones you went to high school with, children, single mom, right? You might even work with some. Okay, let's say you do actually, like for the guy who's a pediatrician, he works around, I guess maybe like receptionists, nurses and stuff like that. Again, okay, she might not have no kids, but you know who she was dealing with in school, bro. We went to, like I said, black men, we went to school with them. How did you make it to being 32 years old and you're still single with no kids? Granted, at that point, you know who she been dealing with, or if not dealing with street dudes. Okay, her body count is crazy high. Come on, I've talked about that before, yo. The average kid, yo. Listen. I can't even spit it out. This is my word. Even when they're grown, I watch Keisha still do the monkey branch. Listen, in my last apartment, right? Fine ass, aka fine, fine, right? Messing with a dude who was a fraternity guy, probably a more educated brother, because I walked past him in the hallway one time. You know what I mean? Regular height guy, regular face, regular build, drove a pretty clean BMW, right? And I don't know if she was trying to mimic him or what, but she went and copped a new BMW, mind you, the same series, right? He had a 3 Series. She went and copped the same 3 Series, but she went and copped the M, maybe the M package, right? He had the base model. She went and copped the M package, not the M, but the M package. If you know, you know, right? She was with this dude for a little bit. And I remember this one day, I came home, right? This was nasty work. I came home, right? Took a shower, went upstairs, right? Took a shower, changed my clothes, and I hopped back in the wheel. As I'm sitting in the wheel, right, I'm about to pull off. I see I see Mr. BMW pull in, right? Granted, when I came home the original time, there was a charger out front. Mind you, I stayed in an area where, listen, you know, it was a pretty nice area. I'm gonna just keep it like that. And to see somebody pull up with a charger, I'm like, okay, that's different. That's different. That's different. It stood out too much to the point to where anybody who lives over here, you already know this charger don't belong over here. So chargers parked out in the front where my building is at. I'm thinking, okay, kind of different. I'm already, like I said, I'm in Atlanta, bro. Anybody with a charger, you already know what time it is. So I'm thinking to myself, who in the building is this guy probably here to see? Granted, I lived around Asian people and a few whites and even a smaller percentage of blacks. Not black men, but black women. So that's how you know what kind of area I stayed in. Um, Granted, who was Mr. Charger there to see? The same shorty I'm talking about. And mind you, as I'm in the car sitting there, looking at Mr. BMW pull in, I watch him go to the door where Shorty stay at because I shot my shot at her too. So I'll talk about that in a different story. But yeah, I know what apartment she stayed in, and I saw him go to the door, and I'm like, okay, this is not looking too good. I don't know who answered it. I don't know who answered the door, but then I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, the dude who drive the Charger is in there. And the BMW guy, he hopped in the whip and he left. And after that day, I never saw him again. But I thought to myself, like, yo, so what was the point of that? Did she try to one up him? She went and copped the same Beamer he got the M package, and then flexed on him with a new dude. Like I said, Keisha, one thing about what Keisha's do with the nerd brothers or the more productive guys, the guys who are kind of, the guy who she overlooked in high school, the guy who she overlooked in college, and I'm gonna talk about this point too. Um, that shorty, right, on the Anton Daniels interview or podcast, whatever show he kind of has, when she was on his show, the Randy Rosario chick, I think that was last year. She was talking about, oh yeah, we overlooked you guys in high school and in university, but you getting pussy now. See, that's the thing, black men. They want you to focus on right now and not focus on the past, but the past is important. You feel me? Like I said, you spend all that time grinding. You spend all that time by yourself. And they want you to forget about that. How can you want somebody to forget? How can you think somebody can forget the times in their life where they had to pretty much bust their ass the hardest, pause, to get somewhere? And again, you had to spend all that time by themselves. Listen, when I was in university, I saw white men, I saw Latinas, and I saw Asian girls, guess what, paired up with a partner. Now, did they get married? I don't know. Some of them actually did, but then did all of them get married? At least they had somebody to go through that time with. When I was in university, I saw most black men single, especially listen, any black man who was in STEM, guaranteed you was single. I promise you. And I can say that because I was in STEM my own self. Every black man who I knew in STEM, besides the guys who were like a little bit older, but like the guys who are like, again, obviously in your age range, Yo, single, single, every last, because yo, STEM is hard. STEM is hard. Not even that. Black men who I knew that were in accounting, finance, definitely in the medical field, definitely in the medical. You was in law, man. These black dudes were single, bro. Black men in education, these dudes were single, bro. Stop playing. Stop playing, yo. Like I said, Glocktavius with a face tattoo and a book bag. Yo, this is my word. Like I said, I was in Atlanta, bro. Anybody who know about the anybody who know about that Shell's gas station that was by Georgia State, like what, 2017? Come on, son. That's where I saw the most Keishas getting bagged by street dudes. That's the spot where I saw Keisha's getting bagged by street dudes the most. I'm talking, yo, this is my word, yo. This is my word, yo. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, black man. Like I said, for all the nerd brothers, I mean, honestly, man, think to yourself, bro. This is what I talk about overseas, and I'm gonna wrap it up. I said it before. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna really wrap it up, right? Pause. When you go overseas, bro, this is what I'm saying. Is it gonna be perfect? No, but it's corrigible. You can get what you're supposed to get, man. You can get what you're looking for. And again, like I said, dude, when you really sacrifice and you put in that hard work, you want something that matches, right? The quality. Because as a man, once you grow up, yo, you don't really care about quantity. It comes down to quality. Yes, one, two quality females definitely beats 15 to 20 low quality threes, low quality fours. Because I'm like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So, black man, like I said, dude, even if you don't want to get the passport, maybe some of you dudes need to leave your city, move to a different side of town, something. But like I said, dude, do you really want to get married? If you spent your 20s by yourself, dude, do you really want to get married for real? You meet a shorty, let's say you're 35 years old. You meet a shorty who's 32. She has 2.5 years left to push out some kids that might be decent. Yo, come on. What you gonna do? Force it? Rush it? Put a ring on it real quick? Come on, dude. You saving her. That's what AC talk about, the reach back. That's what he be talking about. You spend all that time by yourself. You meet a shorty. You cuff the first one that like you because you're desperate. 65% simp, right? You cuff the first one who like you. Then you push out some kids. Yo, you listen. You push out some kids. You did not get a prenup, right? You put a ring on it. Come on, dude. 3 to 4 years down the road, you get divorced. You don't even watch your kids grow up. Your experience is worse than Glocktavius. At least Glocktavius got the sex up front. You had to bust your ass, grind, study, work all these extra hours at work. Just as again, you got to do all the stuff Glocktavius didn't do. All he had to do was show up with Nike slides, Adidas, the worst ones, Adidas slides, wear little spokes in the sole of the shoe, dirty socks, don't even change his drawers. These dudes be wearing the same compression pants for like days, son. That's my word. Wearing the same Nike Tech for days, son. That's my word. Yo. And again, the standard was so low for them. See, that's why I'm saying, yo, black men, that's not your level. That's not your level. Those same dudes, that's her level. But when it came to you, yo, you were always looking for quality. She thought just because the dude was having good sex, like I said, I'm not trying to make the video about the sex, but when you think about it, they equate the most minuscule things to sex. If you have a education, you can't have a good stroke. If you have a good career, you can't have a good stroke. I told you dudes, listen, this is how Keisha's mind is working at a young age. I heard a young 19-year-old girl say, listen, she can tell if a dude is gay by his lips. Mind you, this is a stud. She said, I can tell if a dude is gay by his lips. He has gay lips. I'm like, yo, black man, are you serious? So you telling me they think they can read you that far? If listen, I had an older black woman tell me you can tell if a man is gay by his eyes. What? This is what I'm talking about. They think they can read you. Listen, so I've also been told by a young black woman, again, 18, 19 years old, the guys who have a job don't have good sex. When a dude works at a warehouse or he has no job, and I'm talking like the bottom of the bottom warehouse, there's actually some decent warehouse jobs out here if you actually have a decent position. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking like the bottom of the bottom warehouse, or again, no job, no ambition. Keisha told me those are the guys who have the best sex. Mind you, at 18, 19 years old, they already understand this. So leading up to when they can actually articulate it, they're operating from that mindset on a subconscious level. So by the time she's 21, 24, 25 years old, that's definitely her subconscious. She knows what the fuck she's doing. So again, you waited all the way until you were in your what, late 20s, 28, 29. I told you guys before, that's when they get desperate. And if she make it past that age with no man, 32, 33, 34, 35. That's why they moved the goalposts back, saying, "Oh, listen, if she's 35 years old, 37 years old, okay, she can still get married and have kids. Yeah, but she's gonna push out some ADHD kids, special needs kids. You know what I'm saying? Her eggs are already damaged and washed up by that point. Most people already know women have the healthiest kids when they're young. But again, now they're told to focus on their education, go out here and get a career. But while she's getting her education and getting her career, she's not messing with the guys who are on her level. Oh my God. See, as I'm saying on her level, I'm using quotations with my fingers, right? Glocktavius is on her level. I'm asking the question, right? Question mark at the end. Glocktavius is on her level. Man is on her level. Raekwon is on her level. Casper is on her level. Blitz is on her level. I'm naming street names like these ain't real dudes, but I'm naming street names like, come on, son. These dudes are on her level. Mm, like I said, black man. AK-47 Roger is her level. Come on, black man. Like I said, most of these shorties, the educated ones, it's a disappointment. I gave up on that. I really did. I gave up on it. And if she's not dating a street dude, the educated ones, oh, it's a white adjacent man. Listen, not the Mexican man who is actually more brown and melanated or bronze color, right? No, the white one. If not the white adjacent dude, a white man. Oh my God, that those be the worst ones because again, low standard. You might have a few who come across a white dude again. Here's the thing about the whole black woman, white man setup. Black women pursue those men. Those men do not shoot their shot at black women. She meets him and thirsty. She meets him and she's the simp. She meets those dudes and she's the simp. Thirsty for them. Chasing after them. Making it so easy. You think about that. The black man who's on her level, she'll make it hard for you. The game is on Hall of Fame. She has Hall of Fame clamps on, Hall of Fame rebounder, Hall of Fame brick wall, Hall of Fame pogo stick, everything Hall of Fame defensive wise. Listen, you meet her in the beginning, you barely have badges. At best, you have bronze badges. You're working, you're busting your ass. You listen, like I said, you're running drills. You're doing a 3-point shot every practice, working on your free throws every practice, running those same fast break drills every practice. Over time, your badges go from bronze to gold, then to Hall of Fame. And guess what? You still get low quality work. Anyways, Black, but I'm done, yo. I'm out. Peace.